Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Your explanation is an excuse. Oh no, I'm not making excuses, I'm just explaining myself, what happened. But what is an excuse? An explanation as to why you didn't do what you were supposed to do, or why you did something you weren't supposed to do. An attempt at justifying your fault. Human beings are amazing. We all are at lying to ourselves. We all do it to some degree because there is an aspect of you, the ego, that never wants anything to be your fault, that always wants to play the victim. If something happened, it's like, it wasn't your fault because this and that. Or if you did do a choice that were less than ideal, well, you only did it because this and that. And this is what I realized when I changed my life after going through all these panic attacks years ago, how much I had been lying to myself about who I was and how I was and the things I did and why I did them, right? And I've been spouting this kind of message on this channel for a very long time. Be 100% honest with yourself. I think I have an old video with that exact title. But as a coach, do you know how often I get this shit? Like, no, I'm not making excuses. I'm just explaining myself, And that's sort of my role, to step in and say, nope, you're making excuses. Like, because the thing is, it always sounds perfectly rational, reasonable, exactly like, it completely makes sense then when you say it like that, But the thing is, you can find a reason. Like, if you couldn't hit the gym because, this came up and this, and I had all of this, I had to skip the gym, when the person tells their version of the story, you can say, like, oh yeah, that sounds like a packed day. Like, I completely understand. You didn't have time to go to the gym there. But someone else could be like, I knew the day before that I was going to have such a packed day that I went up earlier to hit the gym earlier than usual, so I for sure get it in. Or, oh yeah, I had such a packed day that I had to go to the gym really late yesterday. Like, some people find excuses and problems, and some people find solutions and ways to keep pushing forward. All right, so I have many examples of this. I started thinking about this, like, I have an old video, I think, with this exact title also, and I was reminded because someone commented about doing a fast. And I'm sure he's going to see this video because it seems like someone that's kind of binging my content right now. But so he reported, like, yeah, I did it 48 hours. He was going to do 60 hours. But, I felt like I could go longer. But, I didn't want to feel weak or have a bad stomach on my workout tomorrow. So I broke it earlier. It's like, dude, just fucking say it like it is. You wanted to break it earlier, right? Like, you knew very well when you started a fast that this issue, that's not really an issue, by the way, this issue you've made up in your head, that existed beforehand also. Now you're just making that excuse to break the fast earlier for whatever reason you want to do that, right? It's like, just be honest with yourself. That's the point. Like, if you're gonna fail at something, if you're not gonna follow through with something, just be honest that, well, I was just a pussy now, I didn't follow through. Stop making lies like this to yourself, because otherwise the lie would always come out on top. It will always be true. Like, I think of a guy when I worked in a different gym years ago who kept complaining that nothing's happening, when he was going, and I saw him half-ass his workouts. He said he did certain things with diet, but of course it was not a client of mine or anything. It's not like I'm gonna dig and know exactly, but because he's really telling himself that I am doing everything I can, to lose weight here and get in shape, and nothing's happening. And if that's the story you're gonna tell yourself, yeah, you're gonna be stuck now, because clearly in your story here, you're doing everything that's supposed to lead to the result, but nothing's just happening. So I guess I'll just stay this way, because I tried trading, I tried that, it just didn't work for me. But if you're honest with yourself, clearly, like, maybe you don't have the knowledge, but then you have to seek it out. Either do your own research or hire a PT or a coach that can help you push forward. But if you make up your mind, oh no, I'm already doing everything, that's gonna be your truth that you live, that I diet, I go to the gym, and I don't get in shape from it, And I see all these people in the gym that are just on their phone. Like, there's one particular guy, I think is like new in my gym, and he's on his phone all the time. And then I see him just half-ass his set so much, and I get so angry when I see it. I'm generally, more patient and kinder to other people than myself, and I think that's the way to be. But when I see someone for a long time, it's like, you're fucking always in here half-assing it, and you're telling yourself a story that, yeah, I'm going to the gym now. I'm getting in shape now, because I would not let myself get away with that. Like, I become very, very good at calling myself out, Like, I try to do this too. I have to catch myself lying to myself all the time also. That, for instance, there's a pendulum squat that I do once per week. And I take one set to like triple failure, pretty much, triple 0 reps in reserve, like a double drop set, right? And every time, I think this is so tough. It's such a tough exercise for me. And every time in my head, there's a voice that starts saying, you don't have to do it today. You have all these other exercises and this thing you're going to do after the gym. Like, you wouldn't want to be too wiped for that. Like, there's always, because I just think it's so fucking tough. But that little voice, it doesn't just say like, let's just be a pussy today, because then you're not gonna buy the lie, right? Like, it's trying to make up this, like, well, it's actually right. It's actually right to not push it so hard today because this, and that. And one client I coached like just recently, like he, on the diet part, is like, I've been overeating a bit, but it's been because I want to make sure that I get enough protein. I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious? It's like you've not even been going to the gym regularly. The main goal here is weight loss, and even if you went to the gym and that, it's like the protein goal I've set for you, that's an ideal. You could eat half of that and it would still be fine. The calorie deficit here is the most important part. So you're really skipping your workouts and telling yourself that, I've got to get enough protein though. It's like, I got to call him out on that, of course. But yeah, we're masters at this. So I guess what I want to come to in this, like, what's always difficult about this, guys, is that sometimes it might be right to do something not according to the plan, but I'm always like, well, make fucking sure that you can be super strict and rigid with something before you start. Like this with ending fasts early, for example. Just don't do that when you get into it. If you said you're gonna do, and it's first and foremost a test of integrity now. Like, if you said 60 hours, do at least 60 hours, don't cut it short. When you've done enough of this, like I have, for me, like take my, I don't have a specific example, but sometimes when I do fasting, like I can see in my life that some things kind of come up, like this and that. It actually would be better to break this. Let's say there was a 5-day fast. It actually would be better in all to break it one day earlier, so I can get in some more workouts and do this. How I get together the entire thing, because I'm going to go on and keep losing weight if that's what I'm trying to do, right? But before you know that you can absolutely 100% certainly do what you said you were supposed to do, like stop coming up with excuses to stop sooner. It's even intermittent fasting. I'm not someone that I'm not for that you follow it. If you do 16-8, that's a good baseline in my view. But I'm not for that. You absolutely negate the effect if you ever go out of that, And that's not no way to live permanently. Sometimes you have to be a bit flexible. But honestly, if you've never done that, if you're someone that's been eating from like pretty much getting out of bed to right before going to bed again, it's like, be rigid, be super strict with it. And if you don't have time to eat everything you thought you were going to eat on a day before that 8-hour window, okay, close it, because it's about nailing that. It's about learning to be able to stick to it, adhere to it. Then, when you've done that for a long time, now, of course, every now and then you can open it up and all that. But yeah, be 100% honest with yourself. This is the last point I'm going to say, that sometimes we're going to find that we just have weak moments. The reason why we're struggling to change habits, overcome addictions, build new, better habits, it's because we are a person with certain wounds, certain troubles, certain stresses. We don't have all the capacity to just do everything perfectly at once. Then no one would need, someone like me. No one would need to watch videos. Everyone could just do what they're supposed to do. So the point is, yeah, you're going to have weak moments, but stop lying to yourself. That's how you make sure. For instance, like my guy here, it's like, oh, I just want to make sure I get enough protein. If you always prioritize getting enough protein in your story here before actually fucking going to the gym and being in a caloric deficit, your truth is going to be that you don't build muscle because you're not consistent with your workouts, and you don't lose fat. And you're telling yourself, yeah, well, because I'm getting my protein though. It's like you gotta call yourself out. It's like, no, I'm just leaning on food here because I like eating. It makes me comfortable, you know. I'm too weak at this point. I'm trying to get better. Like, don't lie to yourself, right? Like, I'll take a last example of that. When I've had a weed problem, you know, in the past, and I one thing for me, apart from just like, you know, oh, it makes everything a bit more interesting. Like the one thing I used it to cope with was kind of sleep. I've always, since I was a kid, struggled with sleep. It's never come easy to me. That's why I'm so strict with my bedtime routines and stuff now, because I really have to make an effort to get good sleep, right? Like, I just think about an ex I had. She would always start like yawning at night, you know, when it's time. I was never like that. I have to be like, oh, now it's time to go to bed. Anyway, it was so easy for me when I was, you know, trying to quit weed to be like, oh, but I have all these things coming up though, and you know, the weed really helps me sleep, and yeah, so no, I'll just get some now and do it now, and then. But the thing is, that will always happen. I would always have problems with sleep. I would always find an excuse that, oh, I will sleep better if I do it, you know. So as long as I keep telling myself that story, that's gonna be the thing when I would quit, but it's not the right time now because sleep. It's like, I'm just gonna have to either just admit to myself that I cannot do it right now. I'm too weak. I lack the willpower to push through a hard time, or maybe sleeping a little bit less. But that's what I'm gonna have to face in the end. There's no such thing as the right fucking time, you know. Yeah, so that's the final point. Stop fucking lying to yourself. When you come up short, at least be honest, okay? And yeah, this is where a guy like me enters the picture, of course. I am your external accountability, both in this video, but this is what I do for my clients. So if you are interested in my holistic bodybuilding coaching, getting jacked and stacked, mentally, physically, spiritually, working ourselves, body, mind, and soul, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. I'll get back to you with my different offers. It's not up and running yet, but you could contact me for a free consultation, actually. I'm gonna start doing those, and I'm gonna have a forum for that. But yeah, you can contact me, and we'll do that. But like and comment, guys. This is an interesting part. Do you know how many people that either actually comment or just look? There's going to be like, yeah, how some people are with their excuse making, while by completely lying to yourself that you're one of these people as well. You know, that's the most interesting thing. We just lie to ourselves to make ourselves come out of top all the time. But please subscribe for more content about fitness, fast, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Your explanation is an excuse. Peace.